Hello, I'm Jodi and I'm an alcoholic.
Jodi.
I have to speak now. It is a privilege to sit here today. I just wish someone could tell my feelings and my stomach that, because I'm really nervous, but I'm just gonna speak. I remember coming into treatment and coming to this meeting. It was one of the first meetings I came to, and I tried to sit as far away as I could, probably somewhere like close to the door. And I looked up at the person sitting here and listened to their share, and I just thought, oh my gosh, like, this is a person who spends like a year in recovery, a year clean and sober. Like, I'll never be able to do that. Like, the person that sits up there is like this mythical creature that's done everything right and has everything together, and how am I ever going to be able to live up to that? And I think that just shows that this unrealistic expectation of what I thought, recovery was, what I thought life was, and what I thought I had to do and be in order to be able to sit here. I think it's a miracle to sit here today. I never ever would have thought in a million years that this would be me, and it really is a privilege. I'm the first person in my family to be in recovery. I'm the first person in my family to be working a program and to have a living solution today, and that is, I can't even explain in words, what that is and what that means. This past year for me has been going against my head. So even though I'm so fearful to share today, I need to do it regardless, because I've spent my entire life giving in to fear and giving in to the very worst parts of myself. I spent my entire life tailoring my life to avoid taking responsibility and to avoid showing up and to avoid doing the things that could not only benefit me but benefit those around me. I spent a really, really long time doing that. I had a rocky childhood for the first 5 minutes of my upbringing, but I don't really like to emphasize that, because I really don't believe that that's what makes me an alcoholic or an addict. I do have family members that are one of us and who have this disease and have passed away from this disease, but that was the focus for me. I was like, my mom's an alcoholic. If I sat here 13 months ago and had to tell you guys about my life, I would say, I am so well put together. I'm not an alcoholic because I'm a student and I study and I work for a charity, and my mom was someone who really had problems. But the truth is that I am my mother's daughter. I am an alcoholic. I was dishonest throughout my degree, and I stole from the charity that I worked from. That was me. But I spent my entire life trying to present an image of myself that was not true or real or authentic, and to point fingers at absolutely everybody else. And so for the little bit of time in my early childhood that wasn't ideal, I spent the rest of my life pointing fingers and making my family pay for the injustices I felt that I suffered as a child, and no one ever measured up, and no one was ever good enough, and it was so quick and easy for me to point the fingers elsewhere, because then I didn't have to look at myself, and I didn't have to work on myself or own my part. There was no such thing as my part in my entire life, and that permeated into every aspect of my life. I have a dad who is incredibly hardworking and who loves me so much, and all he wanted was the best for me, and all I did was point out in all the ways that I felt he failed as a father or wasn't measuring up, which I sit here today, and anyway, that's a whole other thing. I have a stepmom who I met when I was very, very young, and she wanted good things for me. She wanted me to be independent and support myself and to learn how to do things, and I resented her for that. I was like, you hate me, because we had a domestic worker who would clean the house, and then she'd be like, but no, Jodi, you have to clean your room, and that was a personal offense. I was like, oh, but you don't, what? What do you mean I have to clean my room? I remember the first day of high school, she was like, you can start making your own lunch now, and I was like, why do you hate me? I really, my view of how I wanted to be in the world and how I wanted people to treat me was so warped, and it was wrong, and it was sick, and I push that onto everybody. Not once could I sit back and say, yeah, it's me and I'm entitled and maybe I should learn how to look after myself and do these things. I was like, why are you such a horrible person? You know, I was incredibly divisive. I was divisive in my parents' marriage. I always came in between it, and I always forced my dad to choose between myself and my stepmom, and it created a lot of turmoil in the house. You know, I was a walking tornado absolutely everywhere I went. People would have to walk on eggshells around me. People would have to, you know, protect my feelings, because the world needs to stop right now because Jodi has a feeling, and like, you better all just take a seat and listen to what I have to say. I spent my entire life in self-pity. Like, I felt that the world was so unfair to me. My parents were unfair. My mom, I had no concept of this disease. And I sat and I said to her, like, you are choosing drinking over me, and how could you do that? Like, can't you see I'm the most important person in the universe? Like, can't you see that? But it's so ironic, because that's what I grew up doing, is putting myself and my needs in front of absolutely everybody else around me. Even before picking up for the first time, I can remember very dishonest and manipulative behavior. I remember going to school, and a teacher was walking around, and she's like, cool, can I please have your guys' homework, the homework that you were supposed to do yesterday? And I knew I hadn't done it, and still, like, while she was standing by the desk, I like looked in my bag, like I'm pretending to look for it, like, oh, I think it's in here somewhere, like I remember doing it. And like, it went so deep that like I was like, even if I wear my glasses, I'll know that I look smarter than like what I am. I'll look like someone who studies and who does what they're supposed to do. So like, I made sure my glasses were on, and I'm like scratching in my bag, like, oh my word, it was just here. Like, and that's kind of like a little taste of what I've done my entire life, is try to just look a certain way. I could never own up. I could never say like, yeah, I didn't do it, or yeah, I'm wrong. And that caused me to do so many things. You know, I've stolen, and I've hurt people, and I've manipulated people, and I just never wanted to hear the word no. So I just wouldn't ask. I would just take what I wanted, because I couldn't hear you tell me that I couldn't have something. You know, yeah, it's been my entire life. I do remember my first fix before I picked up as well was on affirmation. My first fix was people. I think I heard a share, and someone was like, I came in, well, I've grown up my entire life with like a ego to the roof and self-esteem to the floor, and that was me. And I never felt good about absolutely anything I ever did, and I was so full of fear, and I needed people around me to tell me, you know, who I was and how they felt about me, and I would latch on to that. And I needed to make myself expendable to you guys. I didn't want to be alone, and so I would learn everything I could about you, and I would try and figure out like how I can be someone that's of value to you in your life, because that's what served me, was not being alone, and was being told that, well done, like, wow, Jones, you work for a charity, like, wow, you're studying. And you know, the dishonesty in that was like, I was like, I want to study psychology because I want to help people, where in actual fact I wanted to learn everything I could about people, so I could be paid one day to sit in a room in aircon on the couch and tell you what was wrong with you, and why you are so faulty, and what you need to do better, and I'll sit back and I'll get to point all of that out to you. Like, that's really what it was. And it's like, if I got to spend so much time focusing on you, I didn't ever have to look at myself. Yeah, and that's also, it's just like a running theme throughout my entire life. I do remember the first time I was exposed to substances. I was really, really sick one day. I had tonsillitis, and I was away with friends over a weekend somewhere, and they gave me like prescription pain medication, and I remember reacting like, this is the best thing ever in the whole world. And my first thought was, as soon as I felt it, I was like, well, I think I need another one, you know. But I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was just like, wow, like, I'm in pain, and my head is busy, and everything feels like it's painful. Like, living was painful. And, you know, right now I've been given this, and like the edges were softened a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but if you're sitting here, you know what I'm talking about. And the first time I picked up a drink as well, I was away with my family, my mom's side of the family, who are alcoholic. And I remember sitting back and being so upset by that. I was like, it was an Easter weekend, and I was like, everyone's drinking and everyone's just carrying on, and this is nonsense. And so I'm so upset with you guys, I'm going to go drink too. Like, how alcoholic is that? But I went to a friend's house, and from the moment I had my very first sip, like, that was it. It was game over. I was blackout. And that is every single time I ever picked up a drink. You know, my friends used to laugh at me because I had this thing. I'd be like, let's go out for one drink, one shooter, and like a little dance, and then we can go home, like an hour tops. And like, people used to laugh at me for that, because in my entire drinking career, never, ever has it ever been one drink or one shooter or one whatever. I just remember that everything was painful. And my head was so busy, and it runs at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And when I drank, I didn't care as much. I didn't care what you thought of me. I didn't care what I looked like. I didn't care what was going on around me. Like, I'm drunk now. And that's really what I thought was my solution. Same with substances, you know, same with relationships, same with eating, same with money spending, like absolutely anything that I could use to try and make myself feel better and to try and get out of myself, because it was painful to sit in my skin. And I don't want to really go into war stories, but I've done things I am not proud of. I have done things I said I would never do. I sat and I said, you know, I love and care about my family, but they were in turmoil. Their marriage was on the rocks, and they were stressed, and I was making my family sick. And I would go out and I'd say, you know, I'll be right back. And obviously I wouldn't. I would disappear for hours or for days. And I didn't know or care to know that my parents would sit at home waiting for me. And I remember when I came to my dad, I asked if I woke up one morning and it was a bender. I'd had a bender, and it wasn't the worst one I've had. It wasn't the craziest or the strangest but I just remember waking up like tired. I woke up and I had spent all my money, and I had an injury on my foot. I couldn't walk on it. I didn't know how I had done that. And I just remember, like, that's what I would do. That I would wake up and I'd have no money, and I'd go to my dad and I would lie to him and I would manipulate him, and I'd say, oh, you know, but I'm a student and petrol's expensive and I don't have money because I had to buy meds, because that's also the thing. It's not me, it's not my substances, it's me, and I'm ill, I'm mentally ill, and I need medication to make me feel better because I'm not well. And I would go to him, and I've manipulated my family into feeding my addiction. And it worked every single time. But I woke up one morning and I was like, I can't do this. It's not that anything special had happened. I just remember waking up feeling really, really tired. And I went to my dad and I said, you know, I broke down, and I said, I need help. And, you know, he said that he has been sitting up at night and waiting to get a phone call to say that, like, I wasn't around anymore. He sat up a lot of the time, like, worrying about me, and I didn't care about any of that. I spent years and years and years doing whatever I wanted to do, and not caring about how that affected absolutely anybody else. And I'm really grateful that I woke up that morning. I can't tell you how, why, or like what happened, but I'm grateful that I kind of feel like I ran out of ideas. I ran out of options to try, because I came into treatment saying, I'm going to give this a try, and if this doesn't work out, I'm going to kill myself, because I had tried relationships, substances, money, food, all the things that, like, I could ever, medication, and I still just felt sick. I felt empty. I felt like an absolute shell. I felt like it hurt every morning to wake up and to see the sun coming up, and, you know, I couldn't sleep towards the end without being drunk or high or medicated, or, you know, I had to pass out. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sit alone with myself. And I said, yeah, cool, like, let's give this a try, because when and if this doesn't work, that's me. I'm done. I'm going to kill myself. And I'm really grateful to sit here today and to have given this a try, because my life it's changed. My life has changed in ways that I never thought were possible. I never thought I'd be able to sit here today and to be able to say that I didn't drink or use or run for this past year because I had to wake up and use and drink or fix off of something, and today I'm learning how to be in my own skin and to be comfortable in that. And today I have a solution. I don't have anything profound or magical to share, because anything profound and magical and life-changing is in that book at the back of the room. But it was shown to me, and I can't believe I get to sit here today and to talk about how it's changed my life and how it's impacted my life. I think part of the reason why I was so nervous and scared to share is because I thought I had to present this picture that my recovery this year has been perfect and has been graceful and has been without speed bumps and hiccups, but that's not true. I've stumbled a lot, I have made a lot of mistakes, and I've been humbled. When I think of this past year, I think of tears in the liters, and I think of Frisco coffee, and I think of one ply toilet paper, and I think of being exposed, and I think of hardships, and I think of facing everything I've spent my entire life trying to run away from and trying to avoid. I've been able to deal with absolutely everything that I thought I'd never be able to look at. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, and today I can. And I just can't explain what happens here, what happens with this program, what this book has given me, because it's given me a chance. It's given me a chance to build a life for myself, honestly. And it's given my family a chance to heal and to move on with their lives. I kept them hostage. At 28 years old, I came in here and I was like, I'm a strong, independent woman and I'm going places. But actually, I was kind of a loser in my parents' spare room, drinking and using and not working, and just making people's lives a living hell. People avoided me. And today I live in a halfway house and I have a humble job, and my parents have their marriage back. They have their house back, and they have a daughter that they actually want to spend time with. Today, later, my dad is coming up and we're going to lunch, and I get to pay for lunch today. And it sounds so small and so stupid, but I've never paid for a single thing in my entire life. I'm always like, you work, you had me, I didn't ask to be born. You know what I mean? You need to sort this out, because what must I do? And today, I get to go to lunch with my dad who wants to see me, and I get to be like, I've got this today. And it's money that I earned at my little humble job, and it's honest money. It's money that I earned honestly, and I get to do something for him today, and that's flippin' incredible. My stepmom and I weren't talking when I came in here. She wanted absolutely nothing to do with me. I made her life a living hell. I was hateful, I was resentful, I was so nasty and poisonous to her in her life. We talk today, and today she tells me she loves me, and at the end of this month she asked if I could come home and visit for her birthday. And that's a gift. The fact that this woman wants me in her life after everything I've done, and it's a lot, is amazing. And also, again, not that money is everything, but I get to buy her a birthday present, and it's money that I've earned myself. And it's I was 28 years old asking my dad for money to buy him something for him. Do you know what I mean? Like a child. When you get pocket money, as a child, and then you do that was me at 28 years old. And today the picture is changing. I'm learning about saving, I'm learning about showing up authentically, I'm learning about my defects, and they pop up all the time. Arrogance is a huge one for me, on this past year. I've gotten it wrong a lot of times. It's something when you talk to the treatment facility that has been saving lives for 20 years, and they say to you, never in my 20 years have I ever experienced something like this. That's when I was I'm going to be helpful, and I'm looking at the literature that you guys put out, and maybe I could help you guys update some of that literature, because I have this history in background in research and psychology, and I think that I could be a help. And when someone turns around and says, never in my 20 years has anyone offered to do this? Like, this is mad. Like, the arrogance is just over, it's like to the roof. I get it wrong so many times, but like I'm able to see that today. I'm learning where my place is in the world. I'm learning to show up as myself, like bumps and scratches and bruises and all, and like it's worth it. Like, I've had like really dark times in recovery. I never wanted to carry a message to say that I've done everything right and that this is, I've done this perfectly, because I haven't. But the times when I've really struggled is the times that I've learned who I am and who friends are and what friendship is and what it means to show up, because I never showed up for absolutely anyone or anything my entire life, and today I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to build a life that I can be proud of. I'm trying to be a person that I can be proud of, and a person that my family deserves, because I've disappointed people my entire life, and today I'm trying not to do that. And it's still a journey. I'm a work in progress. I can't say it's today and say, this is where I'm at and I've made it, I've reached it now. Like, I really feel like this is the beginning, and it's a journey that I'm just so happy to be a part of, and I never want to look back. Like, just for today, the past is important because that helps motivate me into what I don't want to be anymore, but just for today, it's like it's onward and upwards, and I'm just so happy to be a part of this fellowship. I'm so happy to be a part of this program and to have a design for living, because if I don't work this program, then I'm in a place that I don't want to be, and in a place that no one deserves to experience me like that. And so I'm really, really just grateful for what I have today, and that I get to sit here and to just literally be awake and clean and sober on a Sunday morning, and to be able to tell you guys my story. So yeah, it's hard to put everything in the past year into like a little share, but that's just a taste of it. And I just wouldn't be here if it weren't for my sponsor and this fellowship and my higher power and my friends that I've made in recovery today. I'm just really grateful. I'm going to leave it there.